Hey everyone, how's it going? And welcome back to the Rideshare Hub. My name is Dylan and thank you so much for coming by. I really do appreciate it. The Rideshare Hub is a place for Uber and Lyft drivers, as well as gig economy workers. Basically anybody looking to make extra money, self-employed included. Freelancers, yeah, we talk about gig work and how to make more money. So today's video is a part 2 on questions around the unemployment benefits for gig workers, self-employed, including Uber, Lyft drivers, basic freelancers, anybody who works in self-employed, doesn't work at a big company, a normal job, and as well as full-time Uber and Lyft drivers and delivery drivers and part-time people. So I myself do have a normal job, but I also drive Uber and Lyft on the side. So I'm going to be speaking to those people as well, because I do think there is a large amount of people who, fall into that category where they still do have some work, but because of everything that's going on, their overall earnings have gone down too. So I'm going to talk about that as well. So, yeah, without further ado, just a quick background. The U.S. stimulus bill got passed on Friday. It is currently Wednesday when I'm making this. The video will probably be up on Thursday or Friday. I tried to get it up tomorrow just so it's most relevant as possible. So it's been about 4 or 5 days since it did get passed. So it's been some time. And when I made the video before, a lot of the states haven't yet set up their websites. So a lot of them are catching up now and telling people how to get their unemployment benefits, etc. So just so you guys know some background, it's not exactly unemployment benefits. It's actually not unemployment benefits for gig workers. So quick overview, 15-second overview, 30-second maybe. The US stimulus bill got passed and it basically gives $2.2 trillion. It's a lot of money. They gave a lot of money to companies to, bail out companies and give them money to keep their businesses running. And they also are giving out a lot of money to individuals in the form of $1,200 checks and $500 checks for kids, or, $1,000 checks, whatever. Might be a little bit less depending on your income, which I'll get into later. And then also through unemployment insurance. And typically it's unemployment insurance through a company. Usually you pay into that every month through your paycheck, but for gig workers and self-employed and freelancers, we don't necessarily have a boss or people that we pay money to. You might have a boss if you're doing gigs, but you know what I mean. You just get your whole money, 1099 contract work, and then you pay your tax at the end of the year. So all that to say, in the US stimulus bill, there's a separate package just for gig workers, and it's called the CARES Act, which is stands for Corona something. It doesn't really matter, but it's through PUA. It's called something PUA, which is the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program. So it's not typical unemployment benefits, which is why this makes it a little bit, more complicated. And trust me, through the end of this, throughout all your research, once you start getting your check and your money, you'll be a lot happier. But now take this as a learning opportunity, try not to get super stressed, even though I know you want your money now. So cool. Now we understand what's going on. So, firstly, in the last video, I talked about how do you get it. I'll just, I went into that in detail, but firstly, I'll just say it's gonna depend on your state. I just want to reiterate this. It's you have to file through your state. So every single state is different. I'll just sync up my computer or my phone here just to show you guys. This is what you want to do. Every single person watching this, open up a new tab if you're on your phone or whatever. Go onto Google. Go to google.com. I use Bing, whatever. Type in your state. Let's say you live in Illinois. Illinois unemployment benefits. You go to your state, whatever it is. It's going to be a .gov website, and it's going to look something like this. This is IDES, Illinois Department of Employment Security. So let's say you are in Florida or California, New York, or whatever. It doesn't matter. But whatever state, type that in, plus unemployment benefits. Find that website. Every single state should have their website up. Should be a .gov or a .org. And it should have, you want to find something that's specific to say this word. I can't say that word because I don't want to get demonetized, but should say something that has to do with that. And it'll, like even this one, it says, in order to process the extremely high volume of unemployment benefit claims, guys, there are so many people filing. They put out, they allotted different times for people with different last names. So you file online, you have to file online at a certain time, and then you have to call, or you have to call, not one or the other. In my opinion, this whole process is a little outdated. Like, I think if America wanted to do this easily, like, they should have just created one website for everybody to do it. For whatever reason, this whole thing, I mean, even like going out and mailing a check or mailing in a form, it, like, at least we don't have to do that. At least we can do it online or call. Like, be thankful there's not a million people at the post office. I could just imagine what unemployment would have looked like 30 years ago. So anyways, so you go to that site. Moving on. So the rest of the questions I answered in part 1 were, how much money will you get? How to claim your stimulus check, that $1,200 check. Number 4 was, do Uber and Lyft drivers need to stop driving to receive unemployment? And number 5, what benefits Uber and Lyft drivers get from stimulus bill? I already answered all those questions. I don't want to repeat myself, so just go back to my videos and try to find the previous video where I answered those questions. So now we're talking about part 2. Number 6 is, do Uber, Lyft, gig workers qualify for unemployment benefits? What does it entail, etc.? You guys should already know the answer to that. I already did answer it. It's called PUA, so it's not technically unemployment benefits, but it's pretty much the same. It's under the CARES Act. What does it entail? $600 from the federal government weekly, plus the whatever your state average is. I've heard several different, it's not, they haven't really come out. It's going to depend on your state. The state's going to be different. It might depend varying on, I don't know, what your state unemployment benefits average is for the payment, or what your state's average minimum wages, or what your state's average rent prices are, or something. Like, it's going to be an average of whatever it is, and it's going to be that plus the $600 from the federal government. Number 7, how do you know if you qualify for unemployment? So there is a really good website called careeronestop.org, and it explains a lot of these general questions. So I just have it linked in one of my videos, so I'm just going to go there really quick. Just so I can find the link. It's called careeronestop.org. I pinned this, well, whatever. I'll just show you really quick. Here are the requirements. The federal government is allowing new options for states to amend their laws to provide unemployment insurance benefits. For example, federal law allows states to pay benefits where, number 1, an employer temporarily ceases operations, blah, 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 preventing employees coming to work. Number 2, an individual is quarantined with the expectation of returning to work after the quarantine is over. Number 3, an individual leaves employment due to a risk of exposure or infection in order to care for a family member. March 30th update. New federal law allows states to extend benefits to self-employed and gig workers, and to provide an extra $600 per week, as well as an additional 13 weeks of benefits. So, yeah, there you go. Usually, the reason why it's not technically unemployment benefits in the traditional sense is that usually that comes through the company. So usually a company will pay, like if the company has to lay somebody off, like they take, I'm pretty sure they take, like the company will pay for the unemployment, but in this case, it's the state paying for it. So anyways, what's the next question? Will Uber and Lyft deactivate drivers who file for unemployment? No, they will not. They will most likely not. They have no reason to. They have no incentive to. The only time they're going to deactivate drivers is if you file for Uber's 14 days of sick leave, which I already made another video about that, on how to get that. So definitely check that video out. I honestly think that's one of my best videos as of lately, but I don't think a lot of people will watch that because they don't understand, because Uber's been pretty hush-hush about drivers getting that 14 days of sick pay, or how to get it. But I made that video on how to get it. I definitely recommend watching it, but regardless, they will deactivate you probably for like 14 days while you're getting paid from them, which makes sense, right? But for filing for unemployment, no, they should not. If they do, then that's pretty scummy of them, but I mean, I guess I wouldn't be super surprised, but no, they're not going to do it. And they're probably not even going to know that you file either. Like, they're not checking it. I doubt they're checking everybody who files. And they need drivers right now, the drivers who are on board to keep driving. Lastly, sorry, I know this is getting long. What about the $1,200 stimulus check? When and who is getting that? So that, I need to turn my car on. This is getting stuffy in this car. If you guys remember, when the lockdown started, President Donald Trump said that he wants to send everybody checks, and everyone was like, really? That's cool. So anyways, it ended up getting passed, and basically any American, any tax-paying American, so I guess if you're over 18 and you pay your taxes and you have direct deposit set up, will get $1,200 if you make under $75,000 a year. If you make over $75,000 but under $99,000, that $1,200 amount, or that amount, will incrementally go down. So the more you make, the less you will receive. And then after $99,000, you won't get anything. So yeah, I will probably get $1,200, which I'm sure is most of you guys watching, well, whatever, I don't know your income, so maybe not. And then when and who is getting that, I just said. It is important to know that if you have children, you'll also get a $500 check for that. If you haven't paid your taxes, no worries, there's a form you can fill out. Just go to irs.gov, and you should be able to find a form if you didn't pay your taxes or you didn't make enough to pay taxes. I know a lot of people just don't really make that much money, and either they live with their family still or whatever. You can fill out a form, and yeah, you can get your money. And then when will you be getting that? I think they said 3 weeks. I think that's what they said, and it's been almost a week now, so I'm guessing within the next 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, those should start coming out. But I have also heard that a reporter or an economist who has connections within the IRS saying that that is like a nightmare. Like, the IRS is not prepared to process all those checks right now, so it could take a lot longer. For example, people who need to do like an address change, like people who have recently moved, like an address change typically takes 4 to 6 weeks just to process. So there's just going to be a lot of going, like, basically you're in good hands if you filed taxes either in 2018 or 2019 and have direct deposit set up. If you don't, then it could take a lot longer. But those are the people who are going to get your checks first, or fastest, I guess. So if you can figure out how to set up direct deposit like right now, or make sure you have it, then you'll hopefully get it quicker. But yeah, guys, that's it. Let me know if you have any more questions, and maybe I'll make another follow-up video on any more questions you guys have. And again, all these things are updating on the daily, so a lot of these things, change, and as we get more information, we will be updating you all. So thank you all for watching today's video. I will talk to you all soon. Have a great day. Bye.